Well, the UFC has made it official. Ilia Topuria has vacated his featherweight championship. And now for UFC 314 in Miami, former featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski will face Diego Lopes for the vacant title. This has been a really interesting development here for the UFC. Ilia Topuria has been rumored to be leaving the featherweight division since the new year began. And that's kind of come as a shock as he's only defended the title just once. But he did beat the two most accomplished featherweights of all time in Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway. And he knocked them both out in 2024 and has really catapulted into superstardom. And now he set his eyes on the lightweight division. He wants to fight Islam Makhachev. UFC says not so fast. I've talked ad nauseum about Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev. And for this video, I really just want to focus on UFC 314, Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopes. I think this is a really interesting fight. I think this is an awesome title fight. I think Diego Lopes has earned this. I thought he had an excellent 2024. I really liked his performance at UFC 300. It was a great knockout victory for him. At UFC 303, I think he really showed his grit, toughness, determination, that he's willing to fight anyone, anytime, anywhere. I think UFC 303 is where Diego Lopes showed that he could be a star for the UFC. And I think he will be a star for the UFC for many years to come. Can he beat Alexander Volkanovski? Alexander Volkanovski was the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world not that long ago. He's lost 3 of his last 4 fights. He's had 2 knockouts in his last 2 fights. Knocked out by Islam Makhachev coming in a fight on short notice. Quick turnaround, gets knocked out by Ilia Topuria. He's taken about a year off now. Be 14 months, I believe, by the time he steps into the octagon for UFC 314. He's about 36 years old. Is Volk the same guy? We don't know that anymore. On paper, or at his best, you imagine that Volkanovski can beat Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes has never been in a 5-round fight before. That's going to be a massive thing going into this fight. If this fight goes later, Volkanovski should be able to take over. Diego Lopes needs to win this fight early. Can he? Yes, he can. Volkanovski's been knocked out twice now. Diego Lopes has serious power. Look what he just did to Brian Ortega. He ran through Brian Ortega at UFC 306. Diego Lopes had 3 victories this year. Last year, my bad, in 2024. He won at 300. He won at 303. He went to 3 different weights. Accepted a new opponent who had a longer fight camp than him, who weighed more than him, who didn't have to cut weight. On just 3 hours' notice, and he went in there and he won the fight against Dan Ige. He looked really good in that fight as well. And then UFC 306, he got to fight Brian Ortega, finally, and he ran through Brian Ortega in a way that Volkanovski didn't. And he beat up Brian Ortega in 3 rounds in a way that Volkanovski could not. Brian Ortega is one tough guy. One of the toughest guys in the UFC. Diego Lopes has the ability to knock out Volkanovski and become the featherweight champion. And it's a worthy fight because of that. Volkanovski's the most accomplished featherweight of all time, a massive star, a beloved fighter in MMA. Diego Lopes is a fast rising star, a well-liked guy, coming off a big 2024. Had some big wins. Knockout power, great jiu-jitsu. Is a worthy title challenger. UFC 314 is going to be a great fight. It's a great main event. I'm really excited to see it. The Topuria of it all, that's up for discussion. I know not everyone's going to like that he already vacated the division. But what we have here in the featherweight division is still exciting fights, great fighters, and plenty of exciting opportunities, and it's going to start with UFC 314, and I can't wait to see that fight. I'm really excited for that fight. Let me know what you think of how Diego Lopes and Alexander Volkanovski would play out in the comments below. As of now, I'm not really too sure how I think this fight's going to go. But I know it's going to be really exciting. I know I can't wait to watch it. On April 14th in Miami. April. I'm not sure which date is UFC 314. I believe it's April 14th. UFC 314 in Miami. It might be April 12th. But I can't wait to watch it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want your predictions. Thank you, as always, for watching.